Welcome to the next video of Captain Graham's charting series to get you prepared for the U.S. Coast Guard Captain's Course for charting. And let's do a problem that's called, locate your position, knowing the compass bearing of three objects. Triangulation is what's kind of nicknamed. Basically what you're doing is you're saying that I'm somewhere in here and I look over and I see this object along that line. I see that object along that line. I see that object along that line. Where those three lines meet, that is where I am. Well, it's not quite that simple. Because remember, we are using a compass. So remember we talked about the cheat sheet. Cheat sheet, if anybody talks about speed or time or distance, you're going to use your 60D street. As soon as they mention the word compass, you got to start thinking about using your compass conversion calculation, which is the TV makes dull children add water, which is T stands for true, V stands for the variation, M is your magnetic heading, D is your deviation, and C is your final compass. Now, to do this problem, we actually have to draw the three lines we just talked about, 1, 2, 3, and where they meet, and there might be a little triangle, that's why it's called triangulation. We have to draw the true values on the chart. That's why we say that true is on the chart. So let's look at this problem. First thing is we look at our cheat sheet. And hopefully we have the cheat sheet made up ahead of time. 10 minutes before you take the test, make your cheat sheet. So going down, it's TV. TV makes dull children. Add water means add west. So you would subtract east. Going up, it's the opposite. Subtract west and add east. So you should have that on a piece of paper separate that you're never going to mess up. And every time you do a problem, you can copy it again, but don't try to recreate the cheat sheet after every problem because you might forget something. You might make a mistake. So here's our cheat sheet. And we just copied it from the other page, and it would be minus and plus east. Perfect. So the first thing we have to remember is that this deviation is my ship's direction, not the direction that I'm looking at three objects. So somewhere in here it says, you're on a heading of a ship's compass course of 300. 30. So let's look at this, and I'm just going to draw it like this. So there's 30. So our ship is pointed in that direction. Okay. Then we look over at object A. So we're pointed in that direction. We look over at object A on our compass. So we stand over here on our compass, on our boat, and we look through the compass, and we see over here object A. That's what we see, object A. So what deviation do we use? What is the ship's heading? The ship's heading is 30. So the deviation that we use is -3. Not, and I repeat it again, not this 265. So our ship's deviation is in the ship, is 3 east. What is the compass reading that we read when we looked across to object number A? That was 200 265. So I'm going up. Do I add east or subtract east? I add it. So 265 plus 3 is 268. In this example, our variation is 14 west. So we put next to variation 14 west. When we're going up, because we're going from ships up to true, we do 14 west. So we subtract when we're going up. West is subtraction. So let's do that quickly here on my little calculator. And don't try to do this in your head because you might make a simple mistake. 268 minus 14 equals 255. So I know that if I draw a course of 255, and I'm going to erase this stuff a little bit. If I draw a course of 255, I should be somewhere along there. From me to 255 is right like that. Okay. So I am somewhere along this line. Because I'm on my little boat pointing at 30 and I look back and I saw that object. The compass course that I read was 265, but the actual I did my calculation wrong. 254. See, I told you not to use. So it's actually 254. So let's do that again. Gotta erase that. That's 255. 254 should just be one little below that. Get as accurate as you can, guys. Oops. Try to move that out of the way. Now, to object number B, letter B, it says that I looked at this and I saw it over here at 150. So this is 152, like right here. So I wasn't standing on that side of the compass, I stood over here and I lined it up with object B and I read 252. Sorry, 152. I didn't change the direction of my boat. My boat is still going 30. So I'm still using the 3 east. So 3 east. I'm going up. I'm going up. So going up, I add east because I looked at it over here. Didn't think about it. I just looked at it. So that's 155. I'm still got a variation of 14 west because I didn't move to another part of the world. I'm always using 14 west when I'm in Long Island. So it's 14 west and going up, that's a negative. I subtract it. So 155 minus 14 equals 141. And that's the true that I draw on the chart. So 141. So I find 141. Let me get rid of that a little bit. So I find that's 140. The numbers are going bigger when I go this way. So it'd be 141. Okay. So from me to B is 141. Now, you could say, oh, why, that's where I am. But a triangulation always has 3 objects to make sure that you got it right. 2, you might be wrong a little bit. So let's go to the third one. So we looked at object number 3. This time, object number 3, we saw it at 95. So we looked along. That's 90. That's 95. So we looked along from our compass and we saw, oops, here's 95. I'll do it backwards. Sorry for my bad drawing. So we looked along our compass and we saw that. Again, we did not move our ship. Our boat is still pointed at 30. So our deviation is still going to be 3 east. So 95 is what we measured on our compass, and we got to convert that to true to draw it on the chart. So it'd be 3 east. I look over here, and I see that 3 east is a plus. So I add it, so that's 98. I've got 14 west because I'm still in the same location, same place in the world. So 98 plus 14. And because, I'm sorry, it's not plus, it's minus. See, I made a mistake again. So don't think that you know whether to add or subtract it. Look at your cheat sheet. So here I would be subtracting that. So it'd be 98 minus 14. And that is 84. So now, let's just erase some of this stuff so it makes it easier. So now I find 84. So that's 90. That's 80. Halfway is 85. And not quite halfway is 84. So now I draw from D over, and I am somewhere in that triangle. Now, my drawing tool isn't great. You should get a little bit better of a little triangle. See that little triangle? Now, there's a little triangle here, here, and here. Didn't mean to do that. So then they're going to give you 4 locations. They're going to say you're at 70. You're at some longitude, latitude. You're at another longitude, latitude. So I always recommend that you take the answers that they give you and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you decide which one is the closest. So this answer would have been the closest. So the important thing about this project, or this problem, is that you pick the deviation always of the direction your ship is doing. All the other problems we did, you are taking your ship's course and converting it to the true. In this problem, you're not taking your ship's course, because the ship's course is 30 by your compass, and converting it. You're taking the direction that you're seeing 3 objects. They call that a bearing. And that's the problem. Thank you for listening.